Hi guys, welcome back to Rudresh Reddy channel. Hope you all are fantastic. Guys, in today's class, we'll discuss about one of the important automation tool called PowerShell. It is useful for everyone. You can be a Windows guy or a monitoring guy or a DevOps guy, whatever the technology you might be using, but this PowerShell tool is very much useful for your day-to-day tasks to automate. So in this class, I will help you how to learn the PowerShell from the beginning. So without wasting the time, let's start PowerShell concept. So our heading is commandlets. Consider it is just like a command what you are going to use in your command window. Okay, so that it will be very easy and you don't get confused what is commandlets is. Just for understanding purpose, I am saying it is just like a command in your command prompt. Okay, then whatever the command you write in the PowerShell, it is always in the verb and noun format. Please keep this information in your mind. So whatever the command you write in the PowerShell, it is always in the verb and noun format. What it means? Let me take an example, okay, for how the verb and noun looks like in the PowerShell. Get service. It is one of the important commandlet used in the PowerShell. So here there are two parts. First one is get and second one is service. So get is nothing but verb, service is nothing but noun. So whatever comes first, right? Get or set or start or stop, that we call it as a verb. So it is clearly telling by the name itself. It is going to perform some action. It is going to get the service. Suppose if you type start service, it is going to start the service. So in that start service, start is the verb. So keep this information in the mind. First word, that verb always indicate what you are going to do on the noun. Second one is telling what object you are going to do or on what object you are going to perform the operation. So in this case I am saying service, so I am going to get the complete list of the service. So that is what second part is indicating noun. First part indicates always the verb. Every commandlet in the PowerShell will always in this format. If you take an example of or a start service or get date, I will show you. I will execute these commands. I will show you the output as well. But for time being, just remember it is always in this particular format only. You may write 1,000 number of lines code, but everything is always in this format only. Okay. So hope you are completely got the knowledge about how the commandlets is. So next we will learn about variables. What are variables? It is not only in case of PowerShell. Whatever the language you used, there is a concept of variables. For what purpose variables are used? It is used to store the values. Very simple, right? Variables are used to store the values. Variable concept comes in C, C++, Java, whatever. Or even in case of Unix, Linux also, shell scripting, everywhere this variable concept come into the picture. So just remember, variables are nothing but it is used to store the values in PowerShell. But how to declare a variable? So to declare a variable in PowerShell, always you have to use dollar symbol at first. Then only it will be considered as a variable. Okay. If you simply write like A, B, it will not be. It will not understand. I mean PowerShell will not understand. To make it as a variable in PowerShell, it is always starts with dollar symbol. Let me take an example of dollar name. So name. So now it is in a variable. In that variable, I am going to store some value. Let me store my name there. Okay. So now Rudragowda is stored inside a variable called dollar name. If I execute this one, okay. So when you execute, here you will see the things whatever executed. And if you want to see what data is stored inside the dollar name variable, you can just type dollar name and click enter. Now you are able to see, right? Rudragowda is stored inside dollar name variable. Likewise, you can store anything whatever you want, okay, depending on the requirement. You can store the numbers as well. For example, I will give it as dollar number equals to 10 and I'll click on line so that it will select and then enter. So now I will enter dollar number, okay, NUM, and click on tab. It will take automatically. So now dollar number stored the value 10. Okay, you are understanding, right? Inside the variables we can store the values, and in PowerShell all the variable must and should start with dollar symbol. You can store whatever you want. Okay, so I'll explain how the data types come into the picture, but time being you just remember in case of variables it should always use the dollar symbol at the first. Okay, and another thing, for the better understanding of the code, please make sure of proper variable names. For example, if you store like a $A and inside you enter something like John, okay, so it is not very much understandable, right? What is $A? If you are the owner of the script, you will understand, okay, $A contains the John, that is the name information, okay. But if someone else see this one, they may not understand for time being, right? So always make sure use a proper namings. So here you should say name of person, so that next person can easily understand, okay, this variable is using for storing the name of a person. So please keep this information in the mind. Make sure you should use the proper variables. Not necessarily, but for others also to understand, this is very much required. That's what I can say. Next, what is data types? Okay, there are different data types. It is also just like other programming languages. We have the data types in C, C++, Java also. Likewise, here also we have set of data types, right? Data types is nothing but a data, what kind it is. It can be a string, it can be an integer, it can be a boolean, right? That we call it as a data types. For example, let me define a same variable $name, and this time I will keep the information as Sean. Okay, if I execute this one, and if you want to see what kind of data is stored inside the $name variable, whether this data type belongs to integer or boolean or string, if you want to know that, how to do? Simple, type $name, then dot get type, okay, and close this one, so that it will clearly tells what kind of information stored here. You can see that it is a system object information, and it belongs to string. Suppose if you store the value 10 or 15 in that variable, then it will say it as a integer. For example, I'll execute line number 9 again. Okay, now I want to see what type of data it is. $number, okay, $number dot get type, and close. Just remember how to get what kind of data is present means you should always use dot get type method. You can say that it belongs to integer. Okay, so this is how you can define the data types. If you want to give the data type information at the front, you can give that. For example, this is of type string. Okay, and now execute. It will execute without any error, because $name contains the value of string, so it will not going to give any error. Likewise, you can create one more variable, like now I will strictly mention as $A should contains 20 and it should be of type integer. So now the $A should have the value 20 and it is of type integer. How to check that one? Just type $A dot get type and enter. So now you are able to see it is an integer. So this is how the data types. Hope the basic understanding you got what is data type is. Next we learn about operators. Okay, another important concept in PowerShell. Operators. What is operators? So there are three types of operators in PowerShell. It can be arithmetic, comparison, logical. Okay, arithmetic, comparison, logical. What is arithmetic? It is like addition, subtraction, division, multiplication. Those all comes under arithmetic. Okay, I always use hash symbol at the front, as you are noticing, right? What is the use of this hash symbol? It is just nothing but commenting. Okay, whatever the data you write after hash symbol, that is considered as a comment in the PowerShell, so it is not going to execute. So now what are the other types in the main types in the operator? First one is arithmetic. Okay, arithmetic. What kind of information it is? Arithmetic means it is nothing but addition, subtraction, division, those kind of things come under arithmetic. Then what else operators comes under? Comparison. Okay, comparison. What is comparison? Equals to, not equals to, greater than. So we are comparing one variable with another variable. That is nothing but comparison. And what kind of comparison we are using? Whether we are using the equals to symbol or not equals to, or greater than, or less than equals to, that we call it as a comparison. And third one is logical. Okay, third one is logical. What is logical? Here we use the AND condition or condition. For example, we want to test two conditions together and both the conditions should match, then only the rest of the command should execute. In that condition, we have to use AND condition. Write first condition and also write second condition. In between, we have to use AND condition. Then PowerShell will understand that, okay, we are using a logical operator AND here and both conditions should satisfy to proceed further. That is how the operator works. Okay, so we'll discuss more about this in the coming classes, but timing, just remember, in case of operator we have three categories: arithmetic, comparison and logical. So far we learnt about comparison operator. So I have explained one more thing, that is logical operator. How to use a logical operator in the scripting, I will explain that also with an example. For that also I will just take an example of dollar services only, I mean get services only. So I'll just remove this one. Okay, what I will do, I will keep the information in a variable called dollar service. Just I'm repeating again, guys, you can keep or you can give the name whatever you want. For my understanding, I'm just storing the value in the dollar services. You can give whatever you want. Now I'll execute this one. So now you didn't see the output in the console. Why? Because it is storing that information in the variable. If we just execute this particular commandlet, you will see the output in the screen itself, right? If you want to store any information in a variable, then this is the method. Okay, take that information and put it dollar service variable. Okay, so if I execute dollar service now, you should see that value. Yes, you're able to see it, right? Dollar services are there. Okay, sometimes you will get in a requirement that you don't want everything, like you don't want status, you don't want name, display name, you want only the names, whatever the names of the service is present in the laptop or a computer. For that, what I need to do, I'll just take dollar services, then I will put dot, and here I will give it as name. It is displaying only the name. Okay, if I go little above, okay, so what I am getting, I am getting only the dollar name details. Why? Because I have passed that method here, right? Let me go little above. Okay, I think I passed that one. Okay, I just passed what? Dollar services dot name, so that you are getting only the dollar services name information here. How I got that one? I'm just repeating dollar service dot. I'm passing the method. Okay, in the method I'm passing only names. If you want the status, you can type status, you'll get only the status information, but that is not meaningful, just I'm explaining that. Okay, if you take get services, again display name, you are getting display name. Hope you understand, right? Whatever the data you get and put it in the variable, and in that output, if you want to select one particular column, then you can use this method. Hope you understood that, right? Now coming back to the main topic, I was about to explain how the AND or a logical operator works, right? So yeah, what I will do, if I will test the condition here, that dollar service dot name, okay, dot name, I will just take any one of the service here. What I will do, I will take this one, app info. If the service name equals to, okay, now we are taking use of equals to operator. Earlier we are taking use of greater than, less than, or like, right? Now I am taking use of equals to. I will say if dollar service name equals to app info, I'll put that information, okay, and then I will take one more condition here that I have to give as AND. You can see, right? And again dollar service dot display name equals to, now I will take the display name of it. If both the conditions are satisfied, then only execute. That kind of condition I am giving. Okay, from that you will understand how to use a AND operator or OR operator, I mean total overall logic operator, how to use. I'm just explaining. Okay, I'll close this one and one more. Then if this condition is satisfied, I'll say write host service name exist, close, else write host service name not exist. Just for your understanding purpose, I'm just taking in a simple example. I'm explaining 4 things here. One is logical operator and another one is comparison operator. Okay, this is comparison equals to, less than, like that, and this is logical operator and operation I am using here. So what output should I get? I should get service name exist, because that particular service is existed in our environment and both the conditions are satisfying here. $service name equal to app info, that is there, and then and condition $service display name equal to application information, that is also satisfying. If both the conditions are satisfied, I mean and condition is satisfied, means it should go to the first line. That is what you are seeing, right? Service name exist. In the output you are seeing service name exist. From where it came? It came from this particular line. Write host service name exist. Why this line came? Why? Because the above condition is satisfied, right? Because you can take use of multiple operator here. You can take another AND operator, another OR operator. However, depending on your requirement, you can combine all together. That is what I wanted to say. Okay, so we'll go for the next condition. Okay, so far we learned completely about logical operator, right? So now we'll go for next concept, that is looping. Okay, in case of PowerShell, there are multiple loops are available. For example, while loop is available, for loop is available, for each is available, right? For each object is available. But most commonly used loop in the PowerShell is for each loop. Okay, so what is the syntax of for each, how it works? So it is just simple, for each, open and close the parenthesis. Okay, inside that we need to pass like $a in $servers or okay server or names, whatever the file. I'll explain what it means is, then open and close the curly parenthesis. Okay, so this is the simple syntax. Okay, open the parenthesis, close the parenthesis, and then curly braces. That's it. So what it means, consider the names having thousands of names. Okay, line by one there are thousands of names are there. You want to do some action on each name one by one. So it means you need to pass one name at a time. So to pass one name at a time, you can take use of for each. So now what happens, the names contains the thousands of names and pass one name at a time, and then take action on that particular name like however you want. So that is how the for each loop. Okay, for example, in our environment, production environment, there are hundreds of servers. In that hundreds of servers, you want to do some actions one by one. So instead of passing all servers together, you want to do it one by one. So put here it as $servers. Okay, and this $servers variable should have the entire server details. Either it can be in a notepad file, and from that you can fetch the information here, or you can create an array and store the information and get it from that place to here, however you want. There are multiple ways to do that. I'll explain one of the way here. Okay, so now, so you understood the simple syntax. I will explain how it works with the array. So I will define one array here. I will give it as ARR or bank. I'll give it as a bank, and I will store the information here. So I will give it as SBI bank, right? Then Canara bank, and then I will give one more HDFC bank. Okay, this is the simple way of creating an array. Okay, simple way of creating an array. So I have created one array here. If you want to know whether it is array or not, what you need to do, just execute, then type $bank.get type and close this. You should get the data here. You can see that it is of type array. So this is how you can define an array. Simple. How to define an array? At symbol, open and close parenthesis. Inside that you need to write the value. Okay, if you want to take one name at a time, so what you need to do, for example, bank, I will pass 0. It is always a 0th index. Just remember that. So what is that 0th index? SBI. This is 0, this is first, and this is second. If I pass second here, I should get only HDFC here. So based on your requirement, you can take use of array also in your day-to-day life. Just I'm explaining how the array works. Okay, so coming back to our for each concept, I need to pass one variable at a time here. Okay, one variable at a time. How to do that? I just using for loop for that. For each loop. What is the syntax? For each dollar name of a bank. You can give anything here in dollar bank. So what it means? Dollar bank will get the entire bank details and pass one bank information at a time, and then you perform some action on that. Whatever that action is depending on you. For example, I will write post. I'll write bank name is, then I'll pass $n here, not dollar bank. Why? I am passing one value at a time, and then I'll close it. So you should see the names in this format only, like bank name is SBI, bank name is Canara, bank name is SDFC. That is how the output should be. You can see, right? That is how the output should be. How it is worked in this manner? We have used the for each. For what reason we have to use the for each? When you want to do some action on each object inside, for example, inside a file contains hundreds of information, hundreds of server details, then you can take use of for each thing. I will explain one more thing here for your easy understanding. I just created one text file here, right? Text file I have created. Inside that I have stored some of the names. Okay, I want to perform some action on each name. Okay, for that what I can use? I can use the for each. First, how to get that information from the notepad to here? For that, there is a one new commandlet you should learn, that is get content. Okay, what does get content do? It will get the data from the notepad file, or it will get the data from the folders or file wherever you have stored. For example, this one I have stored in, I think, YouTube videos, and then names.txt. Okay, this is the place where I stored the entire information. Okay, for example, I will put the information as names, or we can give it as students. Okay, let me execute. So if I execute this one and then I will enter $student, you are able to see entire data whatever present inside that text file. How it came from text file to here? By using the get content commandlet. Okay, so now the get content commandlet has each and every information present in the names.txt file. Now what I will do, I will use for each. Then I will pass one name at a time in $student. So $student has a lot of information. I want to pass one name at a time. Then I want to write post student name is, then I will pass n. Okay, and close it. So now what happens? It will pass one name at a time, and whatever the action we give inside this curly braces, it will do that. I'll execute this one so that you'll understand what I am saying. Now you are seeing, right? Student name is John, student name is Barry, student name is Spike. How it got created? So I just used for each and I passed only one item at a time from the notepad file where it has n number of information. This is how you can take use of for each. It will be very useful in your day-to-day life. That's what I'm highlighting again and again. There are other loops as well, like for is there, do while is there, while is there, but most commonly used loop is get content. Most commonly used is for each loop. Okay, so hope you understand how the get content works, right? If you don't understand why I have given the path here is, I can explain one more time. I'll type get content. As I said earlier at the starting of the class, it is always in the verb and noun format. Get is the verb. It is going to get. Verb, what is verb? It is going to perform some action. What action? Getting the action. On what? Content. Then I will pass the path. Here I am giving the path so that it will be clear for you guys. Okay. So if you don't provide this parameter, it will work. But still, if you want to give that for understanding, as the beginners don't aware about that, it will work in that manner also. So it will be good if you provide each and everything so that everyone can understand it very easily. Okay, hope you got how to take use of a get content commandlet in your life. Okay, so one more commandlet is there, that is also very important. Let me finish it out here only. Get child item. What get child item is does, so it is going to display the files or folders whatever present. Okay, so for example, in which directory right now I am in, to check that one, take use of a pwd command. It is going to display the current working directory. So right now I am in C user admin directory, so that's what you are inside the admin. Okay, so I'll go to the same thing in the file explorer. Okay, I'll go to C, then I'll go to user, then I will go to admin. Okay, so inside admin these many things are available. Okay, Android, VS Code, 3D objects, app data folder, documents, many things are there. For example, if you want to see all this information from the PowerShell, what you need to do, you can take use of get child item and hit enter. It is going to give the entire information. If you are not able to see it here, one more command I will explain, that is out grid view. You are going to get the data in the grid format. You can see that these many data are present in your current working directory, Android, VS Code, 3D objects. So are able to see the same thing here also, right? Let me minimize and put it side by side so that you will understand. It is there, right? Android, VS Code, 3D objects contains, and I'll expand this one also so that it will be clear for you. You can see that each and everything is available here. Along with that, what type of access you have, it is going to display that also. Mode is nothing but what type of access you have on that particular file or a folder, like read access, write access, that is going to display here inside mode. And then last write time indicates what is the last time it was modified, so it is going to display that information. For example, to make it more clear, what I will do, I'll go to, okay, so I'll just go to downloads. Okay, this is very big. Let me document. Okay, here nothing is there, so that it will be easy for you to understand. I will create one text file here. What I will do, I'll create servers.txt. Server.txt file is created. Okay, so now what I will go do, I will go to documents. So this is also one of the important command. cd is nothing but change directory. So right now I am in admin directory. Now I want to go to documents directory. So cd documents. So if I enter pwd, now we are in the documents folder. And if you want to list the files whatever present in the documents folder, just click on ls. If I do ls, you are able to see only one file here. Okay, so if you go to the folder file explorer, you are able to see the same thing. Inside documents, only server is there, servers file is there. That's what you are seeing, only one file. There is nothing inside that file. Just for explaining you guys, I have just created one file here. And here also you can see the last write time. You may get the requirement like I want to know the last write time of my file when it got created in your server or hundreds of server. How to do? So in that, what you need to do, you just get child item, give the path, and then execute this particular command line. ls is going to give the result for that, or else you can type get child item. So both are same. Get child item, ls, both are going to give the same result for you. Again, as I said, if you want to select only few information, not everything from that commandlet, you can take use of select object, get child item, then I will pass select. Okay, that is also one of the important commandlet. Select object, both are same. Select object is the actual commandlet name, and select is the select is the alias name. I will pass, I want only name. Okay, I want only name, comma, last write time. So you are able to see only name and last write time. You can share this information to your manager. Okay, so this is how you can take use of get child item. So for what we have learned, okay, I'll go to a new file. So this is the place to create a new file. So we learned about get child item, we learned about get content, likewise we learned about ls or we can say get child item, both are same. And also we learned about PWD, that is present working directory, right? And also we learned about for that secondary thing. But these are also important commandlets in our day-to-day life, so that's what I'm explaining here. And we also learned about select object. So what is the use of select? We are going to use to select only particular columns from the data whatever coming over the pipeline. So you are able to understand, right? Get child item is going to lot of information. In that I want to know only name and last access time, right time. So one more thing I'll explain here. Get child item. If you enter get child item, now it is giving the direct information, and it is giving a basic information like what is the mode, whether you have read, write access, or what is the last access time, length, and name. Length is nothing but what is the exact length of that. For example, I will go to that particular file and I will enter some data. What I will do, my name is PowerShell. Okay, it is 0 right now, right? So if I execute this commandlet again, it should change. Now it is showing the length 21. Why? Now I enter the data. If you want to know the length of the data present in a file, then you can go for this method, get child item. Okay, so what I was explaining is you are able to see minimum level of information here. So if you want to see exact all the data whatever coming over the get child item, for that what you need to do is get child item, then select type property and put star. It is going to give entire information. So earlier you were seeing only few information, right? So now we were getting everything. Many informations are available. Mode is there, version information is there, then name is there, length is there, directory name, directory, exist, extension. So many things are there, right? How to do that one? You should pass this particular property star thing here, so that you will get everything in the output. Okay, so if you want to copy this information, how to do that? Just type clip. So it is copied and it is in the clipboard, right? I will go to notepad. I'll just paste it here. Okay, you don't know, no need to do Control A, Control C, nothing like that. You just type the command at the end, type clip and hit enter. Now it is in the clipboard. Just open a notepad or PowerPoint, whatever you want. Type Control V. It is going to paste the information there. Hope you understood, right? So this is how you can take use of the different commandlets or different loops in the PowerShell. Okay, next concept. Okay, so next important concept for the PowerShell scripting is get date commandlet. Okay, so whenever you write a script that is based on the timings, right, it should run at only one particular time, right? So how to do that one? So for that we need to understand how the get date commandlet works in the PowerShell. So let me clear the screen. To clear the screen, just type CLS. It will clear the content. So I will type get date. As usual, this is also in the verb and noun format. Verb is get and noun, that is date. Okay. So if I enter this one, you are going to get the current date. Okay. 10th May 2025, and what is the time right now? So you are going to get that particular information. Okay. What get date does? It returns the current date and time. Okay, so but in the script it will not be like this. There are chances to format the date. It will not be like this always. How to format that's very important when in case of get date. So now we learned about get date. It is going to display the or return the data, but how to format that or customize how the date or time is displayed. So I'll explain that one by one. First I will go to let me remove all this, get date, and then I will make it as format. I will type here, first I want year information, then I want month information. M should be capital, this should be very important. Then small d, it indicates date. I want this information like year, then month and date. So you have to use this particular commandlet. So if I execute this, you can see, right, now I am in 2025 and then month is 5th and today's date is 10th. So how it came? I have formatted in this particular manner here by using format, so that you are getting the result in this way. Okay, so now I don't want year first, I want month should be first. So what needs to do for that? Simple, use parameter. I want month first, then date, and then year. Very simple and straightforward. So now we will get the result in that manner, right? You can see, right? 5th is the month and date is 10th and 2025. Okay, and along with this, if you want to get the date information, time information as well, yes, that is also possible. I will give H and then small m and then double S. Please make sure when we have to use M and when we have to use small m. Capital M is for the month, small m is for the minutes. Please remember this. Okay, I'll execute this one and you can see the date particularly, right? The format is changed now. You are able to see the date information and time information as well. And you don't want seconds information, you want only hours and minutes, and just remove that and execute. You are going to get only that information. Okay, now what I will do, I will store this information in one variable called date or D. Okay, I will store the information in the $D. If I execute $D, and you are able to see the entire information. And then you don't want either in this format or in this format. Okay, so I just want to know the year, month, something like that. Then $D, I want to know month. For that, what you need to do, right now the enter information in the $D variable, then pass $month. Okay, 5th. The month is 5th, so you are able to see that information. Okay, now you can say I want to see the year information. So pass year here. You are able to see the year data here. And along with that, you want to see hours. For example, HOUR hours 22. So likewise, you can get each and everything in a splitted manner. You want to see minute. Month is also, we already covered that. How about minutes? You are able to see the minute as well, 25. Okay, so like that you can take use of the get date and make the customization in your script however you want. Along with this, I will teach one more thing. Right now, what does $D stored here? $D stores current date and time. For example, if you want to add extra 10 minutes to this, what you need to do? For that, $D dot add minutes. How many minutes? I want to add 10 minutes. So now it is 25 or now it is 27. You can see at the bottom of screen. If you added 10, it will be 37. So you should get the result 37. Okay, so I'll executing again. You should see that. You can see that 35. Okay, so here it is 25. 10 is added. That's what it is showing, 35. For example, if you add 30 and execute 55, right? So likewise, you can add the minutes. Suppose if you add days, I'll add one more day. Right now 10th, it should give the result as 11th here because I added one day to the current date. So it should be 11. You are able to see, right? Now the date is 11. Likewise, if you add 2, so it should be 12. It's only for the forwarding dates. You can make -2 also. So right now 10th means today's date is, if I add -2 here, it will be like 8th. Hope you are getting my point, right? Likewise, you can add a minutes, you can add a days, add a months, add a hours, depending on the requirement. You can add whatever you want. Okay, so this is how the basic PowerShell scripting works. Next, I will explain one of the important formatting option in PowerShell. Okay, let me take in a variable called $A. Okay, and I'll put one information, server information. Take an example of dnkg sql 001. Okay, .contoso.com. Okay, this is the server name. I'll just execute this one, and now the $A has the information of that particular server. Now you have a requirement, you don't want complete FTDW name, right? This contoso.com you don't require. You want only the NetBurst name, something like this information only you require. How to filter that one, how to trim this one, or how to make the modification here. So that is very important, right? So for that, what you can do, take that variable, then here you will find an option called split. So what split will do? It is going to separate the data on whatever the basis you want. For example, I want to split based on dot. Wherever you find the dot, make a separate information. Okay, so what I did, I have taken the variable, then I splitted that. What is the requirement to split? Wherever you find dot, split. Okay, hit enter. So now we are able to see, right, everything is in a separate line. Okay, Contoso is in a separate line, com is a separate line, and this is also in a separate line. Why all this information in a separate lines? Because I have splitted everything here by using the dot here. Okay, so it's splitted, but I didn't receive the exact name or whatever requirement I have. How to do that? Okay, what I want only the exact server name. I don't want the domain name. Okay, so I want this much information, whatever highlighted in the screen. How to do that? So now you just pass 0 here and click enter. You are able to see that information. So when you enter only this particular commandlet, it is at the 0th index, and this is at the first index, and this is at the second index. So what I did now, I have taken only the first index information, I mean 0th index information. That is what you are seeing here. Okay, this is for only one server. If there are multiple servers, how to do that? You cannot sit and do one by one, right? Again, it is a tedious work. That it's simply something like you can do it in the notepad itself. Then what is the use of PowerShell? Okay, here is the example for that. So I have created one notepad file. I have kept 3 server names there. Okay, right now it is in the complete FQDN format. So I'll use the PowerShell, and then I will take only this name out of it. Okay, only these particular names I will take out of this particular file. Okay, so first we will get the data. So for that I already told you what is the commandlet name. Get content. Get content, then pass the path. Where the servers are stored, those are stored in YouTube videos, and then names.txt. Okay, this is the path. The server details are present. Let me create a variable and store the information. I'll execute this one, and if I type $serve and hit enter, you should see those information. Yes, you are getting all the server details here. Then we already learned about for each loop. As I said, for each is one of the very important commandlet in PowerShell. It will iterate the data. Okay, so I have these many servers. I want to take one server at a time and make the necessary changes. Okay, how to do that? So for each, take one server from entire list and then do some action so that I should get only this particular information, not entire FQDN. How to do that? So right now, first server will come and sit here. What is the first server name? This is the first server name. Let me highlight it again. This is the first server name. Okay, so in which variable it is stored? $s is the variable. So what I need to do? I need to split that. On what basis I need to split? By using the dot. Okay, I have used dot. Then what I want in that one, after splitting, I want only the 0th index. Okay, so now it got only first in the first server name. We got only this much information. Once this activity is done, so PowerShell will go to the next server. What is next server? It will go to this particular server. This is the next, and do the same operation, and finally it will go to the third server. Okay, so this is simple, right? Let me execute entire thing. You will see the result. Yes, you can see, right now we are seeing only the NetBIOS name. We are not seeing the entire FQDN name. How we have achieved this one? By using the split operator. Okay, sometimes you may get in the other way also. They will provide this information and they want to know a complete FQDN name. How to do that one? That is also I'll explain how to do that. So let me reverse the condition. Okay, for that I'll just copy these information. Okay, then I'll go to Notepad, or else I'll remove this one manually. Not a big task, just 3 servers are there. I'm just removing those informations, right? And last one is here. Great. So now you got a requirement to add the complete domain information to those servers. How to do that? Again, it's a simple. Let me copy the path. So that's very important right now. Right, I have copied the path. Then I execute it. If I enter $serve, hit enter, you are getting the information in this format. But how to add the contoso.com to each one? For that, we can take a use of for each object. For each object commandlet. This is also another important commandlet in PowerShell. Okay, for each object. Then in for each object, so I want to add. So this is indicating whatever the dollar and underscore comes here, right? It clearly indicates current object. Whatever coming from the previous, it will take that first object only. That is current object. Okay. So what I will do, enter information present in this variable. Then I will pass to next commandlet, that is for each object. And whenever the each item comes, I want to add contoso.com to that. Okay. So what happens now, in this variable, it will take the first element. What is that? dnkb sql 001 and then add this information. Likewise, it will take next one, it will add this information. So whatever the servers present in that one, it will do. Okay, let me execute and you will see the expected result. Yeah, you can see, right? Now we were getting the expected result. So hope you got how to remove the information, that is splitting, or how to join the information. So you are getting, right? Is this the only one way to add this information? No, there are multiple ways. I am just showing one for you. So you can do in other way also. What is other way? You can take use of a join operator and you can achieve that one. Okay. Then I will use for each $a in $servers assert, whatever you can give. Okay. Now what I will do, I'll create one more variable called joined. Okay. So then what I can do, $a should join with contoso.com. Okay. Each and every element, whatever comes in the $a, that should come and sit here and it should add the contoso.com. How it will add? We need to pass the parameter join. Based on this, it will add. Okay. Okay. Now I should execute this one and you'll get the result. Okay, let me print the result here. Right, host $joined. Okay, I'm re-executing. Yeah, you are able to see the information, right? So this is how you can use the alternative ways, whichever convenient for you guys. You can do that. Either you can go ahead and use the for each object, or you can take use of for each only and make the customization however you want. Okay. So you might confused what here I am doing. It is just creating an array. Okay. It creates an array with two elements, the original name and the domain name. So I am then combining those two things. Okay. How it is combining? It is combining with the help of dot. You might be confused why two dots came here. It should be only one dot, right? Why? Because I just added here one extra dot. I just removed it and now I'll execute and you will see that. Yeah. Now you are able to see exact result, right? Yeah. This is how you can take use of an scripting concept here. Okay. Next concept. Now we'll start learning about file and folder management in the PowerShell. Okay. So how to create the file, folder, add the content, delete the content, all those things we'll learn here. Okay. So first we'll start with creating the file and folder. Sir, it is very easy, as we can right click and create the folder. Why we need to do in the PowerShell? It will take that time. Why we need to use, sir? Yes, you are absolutely right. When it is a one file or one folder, that you can do it manually. It will not take much time. If it is a thousands of line files or thousands of folders need to be created, then it will be difficult to do manually. And along with that, this will be very useful when you are writing the script. Okay, when you are writing the script, like when that particular day, for example, one script ran and it has created some data. You want to create a folder and put that information in a file. Okay, in that case it is not done from the manually, right? It has to done through the script itself. So it has to done through the script itself means you need to write in the script itself, create a folder, create a file, add the content to that, right? So that's how we need to take use of files and folder in the PowerShell. First, how to create this one? For that we need to check, is there any commandlet available for that? Okay, one important command in PowerShell is, if you want to know whether any commandlet available in PowerShell or not, is get command. So I want to know, is there anything by the name item, so that I will come to know whether creating folder is possible or not. Okay, so there are many things you can say, right? Move item, new item, remove item, set item, rename item, many things are there. So from that I can say, okay, items related commandlets available in the PowerShell. Items are nothing but files or folders. So what I want new item. Is that existed? Let me check one more time. Let me remove that. Yeah, this commandlet is existed. So with the help of this commandlet we can create files and folder. So first I want to create one folder. How to do that? New item path, where I want inside YouTube videos I want to create one path, one folder. What is the name of the folder? I want to create a folder by the name PowerShell. Okay, then we need to mention the item type. What type of item it is? Is it a file? Is it a directory? Is it a symbolic link, junction? Many things are there. This should be a directory. Directory is nothing but folder. So now what I am doing, I am creating a new item, that is a folder. Name of the folder is PowerShell, and it has to create inside this particular path, and it is a folder. Okay, let me execute and see. Okay, it is created by the name PowerShell, and you can see the last write time. Okay, let me go to that particular path and let's see. Okay, just I'll refresh it. Okay, you are able to see, right? PowerShell folder is created, but nothing is there inside that PowerShell folder because we have not provided any value or any file to be created in that folder. So just simply we created one folder. Okay, so how to do that? You have got information, right? You should take use of a new item commandlet and provide the path and then the exact folder name. Okay, now I'll explain how to create a file. New item, that's also very simple. New item, I'll provide the same path, but I will add PowerShell also here. PowerShell folder also here. Okay, so PowerShell is the folder name. Let me copy and put it here. Okay, inside this particular path, that is YouTube videos PowerShell, I want a file to be created. What is the name of the file? Name of the file is servers.txt. This is the file name. Okay, so but for the PowerShell to understand, I should tell what it is. It is in a file. It is not in a directory. It is in a file. Okay, let me execute this now. And what is the output you wanted? Inside the PowerShell folder, servers.txt file should create. Let me check, is that created or not? Right now I am in the PowerShell folder. Let me go inside. Yes, servers.txt file is created. How it created? By using the new item commandlet. Okay, so we have created the folder and also we have created the file. How we have created? You got that information, right? Next, we will learn about copy related information. Copy, how to copy the files and folders. Okay, so for that also there is a commandlet called copy item. New item for the creating the new folders and files. Likewise, copy item is for copying the things. Okay, for example, there is one particular file in one path. You want to copy that file to another path. How to do that? So for that, what I will do, okay, let me take an example of this one only. Now what is happening inside the PowerShell folder? This server's file is existed. Now what I will do, I will paste that particular server's file inside the YouTube videos, not inside the PowerShell. Okay, so I'll make more clarity here. Okay, so this is one path, and if we go here, this is another path. Okay, now inside PowerShell we have one file called servers.txt. Now I want to copy this file from this particular path to this path. I want that particular servers.txt file inside YouTube videos. How to do that? Okay, let me show you. Just for your understanding, I am just showing here. Just you can cross check. There is no servers file is created here. Okay, so after executing the command, you will see that. What is the command name? Copy item. Copy item. Then what needs to give? We need to provide the path where that file is existed. That file is existed here, right? What is the name of it? Servers.txt. Okay, this file is present here, but I want here. Here means we should provide the destination details. Where we want inside this particular folder. Now I'll execute and we'll see the output. Cannot overwrite a YouTube server with itself. Okay, what it means? Okay, we have provided the same path here. Okay, so PowerShell I need to remove here because it's already that particular file is existed in the PowerShell itself. Now I want to move into YouTube videos. Let me execute it. Let's see the output. Okay, it got executed successfully. I will go to the YouTube videos folder. I'll just refresh it. Okay, now you are able to see the servers file here. And will it be present inside the PowerShell also? Yes, it has to be. You can check it. I will go to PowerShell. This is present here also. Why? We are not moved here. We are not moving the file. We are just copying the file. Suppose in case if you move from PowerShell to the YouTube videos, then it may not be present inside the PowerShell folder. But now it is here. Why? Because we are used the copy item, not the move item. Understood, right? Okay. Now we learn about copying the folders. Okay. So what I will do, inside F drive, I will create one folder. What is the folder name? Test folder name. So what I want to do now, I want to copy the entire thing from YouTube videos to test. How to do that? Let me show you. So I'll mention copy item path F YouTube videos. I want to copy this information. Okay. Okay, then what is the destination? I want to store that information in the F drive itself. Okay, so let me execute. So what it will do, it will copy the YouTube videos folder and it will put inside the what is that, test folder. I'm just executing it. It is completed successfully. Now inside the test folder all the information should present. I'll double click on test. You are able to see YouTube videos. How it came? By using this particular command. I copied the YouTube videos from this path to this path. You are understanding, right? How to do copying the items. So now we learned how to copy and we also learned how to create the new files. For example, if you want to delete it, I don't want these files, YouTube videos files which are present inside the test folder, because those are already present in another folder. I don't want that. How to delete that? So for that we have one more command called remove item. Remove item. So we need to provide the path. What is the path name? So this is the path. So if I execute this one, it will delete that file. Let me show you. So I have provided the path, remove item, and path I have given. Let me execute. It is asking the confirmation. What is it is asking? It will delete all the children and recurse parameter was not specified. If you continue, all the children will be removed from within the item. So it will remove everything. That's what it is saying. I will say yes to all. Now this has to delete everything. Now you can see, right, inside the F drive, earlier we have YouTube videos and test folder. Now test folder is not there. Why it is not there? Because we have removed it. Likewise, you can remove the file also. For example, I will show you that. Remove item. I want to remove this particular file. I have created at the starting, right? So now I want to remove it. I'll just provide the path. I'll remove it. Now if I go this place and then YouTube and then PowerShell services.txt is existed. Now what I will do? I'll just remove that. Okay, I'll select line number 5 and then I will execute. You can see, right, right hand of the screen, that file automatically deleted. How it got deleted? By using the remove item. You're getting, right, how we can take use of deleting in the PowerShell. Okay. And also we learned about get child item already, right? Get child item. So it is just nothing but a listing of the files. For example, let me go here. I'll go to YouTube videos. I want to see all this information, whatever present here, right? I want to see that. How to do that? For that, you can take use of get child item. So very simple. Get child item, then provide the path. So I want to see whatever present in this particular folder. Let me execute that. You are able to see everything, right? Whatever the data present over there, you are seeing the same thing here. PowerShell is there, name.txt file is there, service.txt file is there. Each and everything you are able to see. Now you understood how to deal with an object, like by joining the data or by splitting the data. For that, how you can take use of for each object or for each loop, right? We understood completely that concept. Now we'll go for another one, that is output formatting commandlets. What is that? Output formatting commandlets. What it means? Okay, so you executed one particular PowerShell script and you got the result. You got the output. But whatever the output PowerShell is giving, you are not interested in that, or that is not the desired output for you guys. You want to make the changes in the output. How to do that? Okay, PowerShell offers several output formatting commandlets for you to control how the information should be displayed. What we are learning? How to, right? How information, right, should be displayed in the console. That is what we are learning now. Okay, so let me take an example so that you will get a clear-cut idea. As I said, there are multiple commandlets available to achieve this one. So first we'll start with the format table. One of the important commandlet, format table. What it will do? It displays the data in the table format. That's nothing but column and row format. How, sir? Let me take an example. Get process. What it does? Get process commandlet gives the entire process's information. So that information I want to format in table format. I want name information and I want ID information. Okay, then auto size. Let me execute. You will see the result. Yeah, you are able to see, right? Now you are getting the result in the table, and in the table you are getting only two columns. What are those? One is name and another one is ID. It is in the table format, and you can store this information in any variable. And if you want to clip or copy the information, just do clip and open a notepad and then paste it. So you will get the entire result there. So that it will be easy, right? Whenever a person asks what are the processes are running on the machine, share that information. This is how you can do. So now you have created one great thing, that is create the information in the table format. Okay. So why I used auto size here? What is the importance? Auto size, it adjusts the column width to fit the content. There are chances the content might be very wide, right? In that case, information might be out of the window. So that is not good, right, in the output. So to fit the information within the window, we have to take use of auto size. Okay. And here I am just passing the properties. Okay. So this is first option, format table. Second one is format list. You don't want in a table format, you want in the list format. How to do that? Simple command, format list. What it will do? It will display the output as a list, showing in one property per line. So in table we are getting in the column manner, we will get here in the list manner. Let me take an example of get service format list. I want name and status. How? It should be in the list format, not in the table. Yeah. How we were seeing the information in the list, right? You are getting name and below you are getting status. You are getting name and below you are getting corresponding status. So earlier how we were getting dollar, if I execute $A, let me show you again. You were getting the result in the table format. Now we were getting in the list format. How? Because we have used the format list here. In first condition we have used a format table. It is not only for the get process. In case of get service also you can do the same thing. Then what is the third option? Third option is format wide. So what it means? It will display only one property across a multiple columns. What it means? Let me put the heading format wide. For this also I will take an example of get process only. Get process, what it does, it will display the entire process information, and then I want format wide, name column 3. Let me execute and you will see the result. Yeah, now you are seeing the data, right? What's happening now? You are getting the entire, first you are getting the entire process information, and then you are taking only the name information, and then you are splitting the entire name information in the 3 columns. This is one column, this is second column, and this is third column, right? So this is the use of format wide. You can say I don't want in 3 columns, I want in 5. Let me do that. Select the line number 11 and execute. You will see now 5 columns. Why? Because in the format wide we have given 5. You can see, right? 1 column, second column, third column, fourth column, fifth column. Right? How? Why it is coming like this? By using the format wide commandlet. Okay, so you are getting, right, what is the importance of each output formatting. What is format table, what is format list, what is format wide. Hope you got some understanding on that. Okay, so it is very helpful for summarizing. Particularly this format wide is very helpful when you are summarizing a large list quickly. So if you mention column 1, it will be very lengthy. You can see, right, it is difficult to scroll also. You can see now it is coming in only one column and you need to scroll up and down. It will be difficult. Instead of that, you can make some columns, for example 6 columns, and you will see the result very easy, right? 6 columns are there and you are able to see the data very easy within a window, right? So this is format wide option use. Next important is out grid view. Out grid view. This is also important commandlet. So what it will do, it will give the information in the grid format. How? Let me show you that. Get process, I'll pass out grid view. Let me execute. You will see the result over the screen itself in the grid format. Yeah, you can see, right, you are seeing the data in the grid. And if you want to filter anything, you can do that. For example, I want to know the process name DWM. Okay, it is displaying here, right? It will be easy when if you take use of out grid view. Whether you want to check whether that process is existed or not, you can go ahead and use this one. I want to know whether PowerShell ISE process is running or not. Yes, I typed just POW. You are able to see, right? PowerShell ISE. Whatever I am working right now, this is the PowerShell ISE. At the back end, it is taking use of PowerShell ISE process. So that information we are getting here. It is clearly telling, yes, you are using PowerShell ISE. Okay. If you want to kill that one, that you can take use of this particular ID, then kill it. Hope you are getting right. What is the importance of out grid view? It will display the result over the screen. For example, you can take another example, get service and out grid view and execute. Yeah, now you are seeing status of all the services over the screen. Okay, this is all about grid view. Now go for the next formatting option, that is out file. What is out file? So whatever the data generates from the previous commandlets, you don't want to see it on the console. You want to store that information in any one of the file. So how to do that? For that you can take use of out file commandlet. Okay, so what it means, let me type get date and execute. So what it does, it will display the date, but I don't want the information over the screen. I want to store in one file. What need to do for that? Type out file, then provide the path for that. Let me, where I can create, one second, I just want to take any one of the folder or a path here for the better understanding. Just give me a minute. Let me go to File Explorer, YouTube videos. Okay, I'll just copy this path. So you're able to see, right now these many files are there. I'll create one more file here. What I will do, I will mention date.txt. So if I execute this one, right, let me go to that File Explorer. Are you able to see anything by the name date here? Nothing is here by the name date. So if I execute this particular line, so it will create one file in that folder. Okay, it is executed successfully. I'll go to that path and you're able to see date. Okay, date text file is created, and if you enter, you will see the date information. Okay, so not only this, you can copy the information whatever you want. For example, I want service information. Get service out file. So this time I'll create one more file called services.txt. This is just a file name. It can be anything. It can be anything, your wish. And execute. Output is not recognized as a commandlet. Okay, why I have entered wrong command? It should be FILE. Okay, let me execute again. Okay, completed successfully. I'll go to the section. I'll just refresh it once. Yes, you are able to see the services file is created. If I open that one, you are able to see entire information here. Okay, and then you can share this information over the email if you want. Okay, I'll explain that also in the later classes, how to send the email by using the PowerShell. But for time being, as I explaining right now about only the output formatting, just learn this one. Okay, so you got to know how to do for the text file. Suppose if you want to share the information in the CSV format, how to do that? That is export CSV is the commandlet. Let me type get process, and now I want to export the data in CSV format. Okay, and what is the path? Let me give the path, same path, but this time I will give as process.csv. This is very important. The extension what I am using is very important. Earlier I used .txt, that is text related. Now I am using .csv. So it is a CSV formatted file. From that extension only we'll understand. Okay, let me execute and see the output. Select 24th line, execute. Okay, it's running. And now you have to see the file, that is CSV file, that is okay. Now it is executing and you will see processes.csv file in that particular path. Yeah, it is created. You can see, right? Processes is already created. Let me refresh. Yeah, you are able to see, right? If I open that, inside the CSV file you will get the entire process details. I'll go to the PowerShell console. Yeah, here also it is completed, right? Let me click on close. Yeah, you are getting the data, right? It's very detailed manner. Hope you understood, right, how to take use of CSV. Just take care of use of export CSV commandlet, and your file name should end with .csv. That is very important. Likewise, if you want to convert the data into the HTML format, yes, that is also available. You just take use of convert to HTML. Convert to HTML. This is the commandlet. Okay, I'll take get service convert to HTML, and then pass that information out file services.html and hit enter. So now it is created one HTML file. Or else if you want to give the exact path here, let me copy the path and put it here. Okay, let me remove one here and I'll make it as services new, because already one is existed, because I have used the same naming convention here. So what I will do, I'll use services new so that it will be clear for you to understand. Okay, now it has created the HTML file where I can see, yes, inside YouTube videos you are able to see service.new. It is in the HTML format. You can see, right, Microsoft Edge HTML document. If you open that, you will see the information in the HTML format only. Okay, how we have achieved that? By using the convert to HTML commandlet. Hope you are understanding, right, whatever I am saying. Yes, you can see now everything is in the HTML format now. Okay, let me go to the PowerShell again. We have covered lot many things, right? Convert to HTML, export to CSV, out file, right? And out grid view, format table, many things we have learned today. Okay, so this is all about formatting. So after get child item or listing the files and folder, let's learn about read, write and append in the files. What we need to learn? Read, how to read the files, how to write into the files, and how to append the data to the files. So we can learn all these things now. For first one, we already discussed about get content. If you remember, this is mainly used to get the content what is present in the file. So what we can do, we can provide one path. Let me go to the file folder, file, and let's create one file here. I'll again create servers file, and then I'll mention test server, something like that. You can give anything. So I'll just save that. So now I want to see the same information over the console. How to do that? We need to provide the path. Hope you remember, right? We already discussed this point. Then it is PowerShell and then servers.txt. So if I execute this one, you will see the same information over the console. You can see, right, test servers is added already. Okay, so this is how you can read. Okay, this is for reading the content. Suppose if you want to override the file content, so how to overwrite? For that we can use the set content commandlet. Set content, and you should provide the path. What is the path? I'll just copy paste the same thing. this is the path. I want to override something inside that file, and then you need to provide the value. What is value? So how it is going to be looks like after overwriting. I want to write as new content here, new content here. So right now what is there in that file? Test server information is there. You are seeing, right? Test server is there. But now how I want to replace that? I want to replace with a new content here. Okay, select line number 26 and execute, and I'll go to that file and we'll see the output. Yeah, you can see, right? Now it is new content here. Why it came? Because we have used the set content commandlet. So because of that it got created. But you may get one more requirement. I don't want to overwrite, I want to just append the data. So how to do that? For appending the data, you have one more commandlet called add content. And then you can provide the path. Okay, this is the path I'm using again, so that it will be easy for you to understand. And now I will provide the value. What value I give? Yes, this is appended text, so that you can understand. Okay, I'm executing line number 28. So if I go to the servers.txt file, what information it should contain? It should contain two information. What are those? First one is new content here, and now it should add this is appended text. Let me check, is there or not? I'm in the servers text file. Yeah, you can see, right? Both the things are available here. So you got right how to create the file or how to read the file, how to set the content, and how to add the content to that. So these are the main important things. Now sometimes you may get the requirement to check whether a particular path is existed or not in a particular folder. So you have consider your hundreds of servers, you want to test whether that path is there or not. So for that you can take use of test path commandlet, then provide the path. So if it is a 1 server or 5 servers or 10 servers, somehow you can make it manually. But if there are hundreds of servers, you can't do it manually, right? In that case you can take use of test path commandlet. If it is there, it will show it as a true. If that is not there, then it will show it as a false. Let me delete it. Okay, I just delete this particular file and I'll show you that again. Let me execute this commandlet again. Now it is showing false. Why? Because the servers.txt file is removed already. So this is very important commandlet, test path. As I'm saying, you'll definitely get this requirement to check a path is existed or not on hundreds of servers. How to do? You can't log in each server and test, right? You can take use of this commandlet. Hope you understood how to handle or how to deal with files and folders in the PowerShell. Next, another very much important concept in PowerShell is WMI object related and SIM instances related. WMI is nothing but Windows Management Instrumentation. Okay, these are very powerful commandlets in the PowerShell, like WMI objects related and the SIM relateds. Okay, so SIM, what is the full form of SIM? That is also very important. Common Information Model. And WMI full form is Windows Management Instrumentation. Okay, so a WMI object is just like a result of querying the WMI using the get WMI object commandlet. I'll show you how it works, but just I am telling the definition. So when we use the get WMI object, so it will returns the WMI objects containing the properties like OS, versions, architecture, etc., etc. So overall what I am saying is, by using WMI and SIM, you will get the detailed information of your operating system or computer, etc., etc. Okay, so what is the commandlet name? Get WMI object. Okay, and another one is get SIM instance. Okay, I'll show you how it works. So first we'll start with get WMI object. So to know what all are the class available, so you need to do list. You can see, right? By using this commandlet, you will come to know what all the different classes are available in the WMI object. Like product is a one class, service is one class, right? Operating system is one class, computer information is one class, like that. So to know all whatever available, you can get use of this particular commandlet and click on enter. So remove this class, just list, so it will display everything. Okay, here you can see each and every information associated with WMI it is giving. It's a very big list, you might noticing on the screen, right? These many information we can fetch by using the PowerShell. Let me stop it. Okay, what I will do, I will make it as out grid view so that it will be easy for you to filter or show the data. Okay, so yeah, this is how it looks like. What is the name of the WMI object and what are the properties associated with. For example, you want to know about service. Normally we have one commandlet called get service. Through that also we can see the services information, but when you deal with the WMI object, you will get the detailed information. Okay, so that is what WMI or SIM is very much important. So what would be the service or class name? Win32 service. You can see, right, when you use the Win32 underscore service, you will get the detailed information like what is the service name, what is the service status, on which computer it is running, all information you will get. Like that, there are many classes available. If you want to know about operating system, okay, go to search box, type operating system. You can see, right, Win32 operating system. SIM operating system is also there. I'll explain that later, but now we are dealing with object, WMI object. Okay, likewise you can get, if you want to know about computer information, type computer info, computer, so we'll get computer related information. Here you can see, right, Win32 computer information is the name of the class. So how to get the information by using those class? Let me explain that point now. Okay, I'll just remove this one. We need to provide the class information. First I will provide the class and what class I am using. So you got to know, right, how to get the class detailed information by using the list. I want to know the operating system related information. Win32, what I can do, operating system. So how you got to know whether this is there or not? I already told you, you should check in the grid view. You can see, right, Win32 operating system. Now let me type operating. Yeah, Win32 operating system is there. Okay, so let me execute this commandlet. Let's see whatever the data we get. Yeah, this is how it looks like. So what is the build number, right? Let me go a little up. What is the build number? What is the system directory, version or serial number, right? Many more information are there. So if you want to know whether is there any other information apart from this, what you need to do, type select, then property. In the property you pass star. Star means it should show everything. Okay, now you can say, right, the list is increased. Okay, so either you can go with the out grid view, or if you want to do in the notepad file, just do click at the end and it will create one notepad. It will copy the content and you can paste it. Okay, so this information will be very much useful in your day-to-day operations, but I'm just explaining how to deal with Windows, the WMI object. You can see, right, this is my computer name. What is the status of my computer? So likewise, suppose if your manager asks you, like, I want to know the status of computer 100 computers. You can't log in and check each computer status, right? In that case, you can take use of this particular commandlet, and then you use this commandlet in the for each loop, so that it will go one by one object and check its status. And you can see, right, operating system information, Microsoft Windows 10. So like that you will get the lot of information. Now I will take another class information, get WMI object and class. This time I will pass Win32 computer. Okay, is there something by the name computer, right? Let me go to the out grid view, type computer. Yes, you can see Win32 computer system. So I will give computer system. Let me execute this one. Okay, now you can see, right, what is the domain it belongs to, who is the manufacturer of this one, and what is the model name and primary name, owner name, and total physical memory available. So this is how you can get the detailed information with respect to WMI object. If you want to know is there anything else apart from this 5 or 6 information, what you need to do, you just pass the select property with star, so that it will give the detailed information. Let me execute this. Put the pipeline. Pipeline is very much necessary. In the initial class itself I have mentioned, that is like taking the output from the previous command, give it to next one. You can see that these many informations available for this particular class. So likewise, if you want to know the services whatever running, for that also, as I told, there is one more class, that is Win32 service. Win32 service. So it will display all the service information. Let me execute this. You can see, right, you are getting the detailed information. What is the exit code, what is the name of the service, what is process ID, whether startup mode is manual or not, status is running or not, status okay, like you are getting the detailed information. Then if you want to put it like only few columns, not all, then you can go for name. I want to see the name, and then I want to see the status. Okay, then what else I want to see the process ID. Let me include process ID as well, process ID, and I'll hit enter. So let's see what it will give. Yeah, you can see, right, now we are seeing all those information. What is the name and what is the state. Process ID is not giving because I have entered spelling wrong here. So let me execute again. Okay, now you are seeing the process ID details as well. Okay, so this is how you can take use of the get WMI object. So that's what I am saying. It will give the complete information with respect to your system or your operating system, right? One more example I will give. WMI object class. Suppose if your manager asked what all are the software installed on your machine or setup machine, he will give a list like 100 servers. He will ask what all are the applications are installed on your machine. How to do that? For that also a class available, that is Win32 and product. So it will display what all are installed on your machine. So yes, now it is running. Okay, so this will give the detailed information of installed application. You can see, right, in my laptop Microsoft Visual C++ is installed, and then Windows System for Linux is installed, and then Microsoft .NET Runtime is installed, Microsoft C+22 is installed, Google Update Helper is installed. If you want to cross check that, what you can do, go to control panel. Okay, just click on control panel and then go to uninstall program. Okay, so whatever the list available here, right, these are the installed application on your computer. So this information only you are getting here, but in the detailed manner. Okay, so if you want to know only the name of the installed application, what you need to do, just pass select, right, select name, that's it, and click on enter. You can see only the name. You don't, it will not display anything else apart from the name. That is how you can customize your data however you want. Hope you are understanding, right? So this is all about get WMI object. By whatever you are doing by the help of WMI object, right, you can do the same thing with the help of sim instance also, right? Let me take an example of get sim instance, and sim instance is more powerful than the get WMI object. So everyone most commonly used sim instance only. Okay, so okay, get class name. So I want to see Windows 32 operating system information. Operating system information. Let me execute. Okay, you can see, right, by using the get sim instance also we are getting the data. What is the system directory or register, serial number, version, and even you are getting the same data using get WMI object. Let me execute that line again, right? You are able to see the data. That's what I am saying. You can take use of sim instance or WMI object. Depending on your requirement, you can take that. If you want to see the compute information by using the get sim instance, yes, of course it is possible. Get sim instance and class name. What is the class name? Win32 operating system. Okay, I'll put that information. Make sure it should be covered with double inverted and execute. You can see, right, you are getting the same information here as well. But that's what I am saying. the most preferable option here is get sim instance. Okay, it is good for battery performance and even modular scripting, and it is very good for cross platform compatibility. So most of the people prefer get sim instance over the WMI object. But of course both are very much useful in the PowerShell field to get the detailed information of your operating systems or what exactly happening in your computer. So just do a little practice on get WMI object so that you will get the detailed information or sim instance. So how you can do, as I said, first list out whatever the classes were available for WMI object or for the sim, and then you can just play with that. So for now I just explained few things here. For example, I just explained the class like operating system or computer information, service, product, right? If you don't know what are the classes are available, or if your manager asks something, you don't know where to get that information, as I said, just do out grid view and just search by the few keywords, so that you will come to know whether that particular class is available or not inside the PowerShell. Okay, hope you understood how to take use of this one. Now the next concept. Now we will learn about one important commandlet that we will use on daily basis. That's nothing but test net connection. Okay, one of the important built-in commandlet in the PowerShell. It is mainly used to check the network connectivity. Okay, this is just like a ping. You can say ping, but apart from ping, this commandlet will do more than that ping, like ping test, TCP port check, like telnet, trace route, IP resolutions, or interface details. So you'll get a lot of information. Okay, so how it works, let me show that. Test net connection, then pass the computer which you want to know whether that is up or down or TCP related information. For example, I want to know google.com. okay, google.com is I wanted to check, so just execute so that it will give the information. You can see, right, computer name is google.com, what is the remote address of that, and then whether it is pinging or not. You can see, right, ping succeeded. It means we are able to connect that particular server google.com. okay, so it is just a simple ping test. It will resolve the host name, it will send a ping, and it will result the data with round trip time and more you can get. Okay, and next, if you want to see the port availability, what you can do, so that is also simple, same commandlet, but you can pass the more parameter. What is the more parameter? Nothing but you need to pass the port details. What is the port number? For example, 443. I want to know whether this is connecting or not. Okay, is connecting or not, I wanted to see. Now you can see, right, it is telling TCP test succeeded. It means port is available, it is able to communicate. Earlier we were not seeing the TCP related information. Now we are getting that because we have passed that particular parameter, port 443. For example, if you have any SQL server, the default port is 1433, I think, if I am not wrong. So you just pass that port details and check the SQL server availability. It will be very useful, right? So then if you want to use the trace route, okay, it will display like each hop between your computer and the target related information. For that, what needs to do? So again, that is also a same commandlet with a little improvement. Now I want to do trace route, so that if you execute this one, it will give the detailed information like the hop between your computer and the target. Now you can see, right, trace route is started working, or it is started executing at the backend, and you got the information, detailed information you got over the screen. Now you can see that trace route, how it is working, it is displaying here. So let me go little top. Yeah, this is how it is. Then one more important feature we get in the test net connection is that is quiet output. Very important, I'll put it here, quiet output. What is quiet output? So it is useful in the scripts where you only need a boolean result. You don't want to see, for example, if I select this one and execute, it is telling ping is succeeded, but apart from that it is giving lot of information, but you don't want to get into all this information. Just you want to see the ping succeeded information or a boolean result. So why it is required? For example, consider you have Excel sheet or a notepad file where you have 200 servers details. You want to know whether those servers are pinging or not. So it will be difficult to ping each server one by one, right? So for that you can take use of the PowerShell. Then for each loop, in the for each you provide this condition, it will give the detailed information. And moreover, you don't want to get into this more detailed information. You just want whether it is true or false. True means it is succeed, I mean it is connecting. False means it is not connecting. So you want that information only instead of all this. How to do that? That is very simple. I'm just copying the same commandlet. So now I'll pass here information level white. Okay, if I execute, it will just tell whether it is connecting or not. Earlier we were getting detailed information, but now just it will tell whether it is up or not. If you want in the detailed information, just give detailed and then execute. So it will give the detailed information. So that is how you can take use of testnet connections. Hope you're understanding, right? So why I am highlighting this particular commandlet is it is very useful in our day-to-day task. That is what I'm included this particular commandlet also in the class. Okay, next we'll proceed with another important concept called compare object. So I'll explain how to do the comparison. Okay, compare object. This is the commandlet name. Okay, so with the help of this one, we can compare which is present in a column A, which is not present in a column B, or which is present in both the columns. Like that, we can do the complete detailed information with the help of compare object. Okay, so for that, you can take the inputs from the particular notepad file or from the Excel, wherever you want. For time being, what I will do, I'll just create two variables here, $A, and it has the information 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'll create one more variable, okay, to make it simple and to make it understanding very effectively. So simple data I am taking here. Okay, two variables I have created. Let me execute that. So you can say $A has the information of 1, 2, 3 and $B has the information of 2, 3, 4. Now I will compare these two variables. For that, what I will use? I will use the commandlet called compare object, and then I will pass the reference object and difference object. That is very important. Please keep this information in the mind. Whenever you are doing the comparison, you need to be clear what is the reference object and what is the difference object. So here I am taking the reference object as $A and then difference object as $B. So now it is comparing these two variables. Suppose in the $A, if you passed any information from the notepad file, it will take that one. And the same thing if you pass in the $B also some information from the notepad file, it will take that and then it will compare here. Now if I execute the line here, this is how the output looks like. Now here there are two things, input object and slide indicator. So slide indicator clearly tells the data present in which direction. So if you take an example of 4, it is giving the direction as like this. It means this side. The data is present only in $B. Let me see the $B data. 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4 is only present in the $B. That is why it is giving in this direction. How about 1? For 1, it is giving this direction. This direction means $A. Let me see the $A data. Okay, it present with 1, 2, 3. Okay, so clearly indicating 1 is present only in $A. Okay, let me make a little more modification in this commandlet. I'll just copy it. Okay, and then I'll hit enter. Now what I will pass is I will pass include equals. It means wherever the data present in both the tables or both the columns, please include that information also in the output. Let me execute this one. You can see that. Okay, now you are saying, right, for the 2 it is giving it the double equals to sign. It means data present both the sides. Please understand the indicators. If it is double equals to, it means present in both the tables. If it is with this particular mark, it means it is at the right hand side of the table. If it is with this particular mark, left hand side of the table. What is right hand and left hand? So this is left hand you can consider, and this one you can consider as a right hand. Okay, hope this is simple. This is how you can do the comparison of the object. That is what I am saying. Here you can pass anything. For example, if you want to see the data from any notepad file, you just mention get content. Okay, then provide the path. Okay, from that it will take the information and then it will compare it. Hope you understood how to do the comparison of the objects. Now we'll go to the next one, that is archive. That is nothing but like a zip functionality. Okay, how the compressing of the files and folders into zip archive works in the PowerShell. We'll learn that. For example, PowerShell has provided a one command called compress archive. Okay, so this is the commandlet we need to use to compress the things. Okay, so for that what I can do, I'll just enter the commandlet name compress, okay, archive. Then we need to provide the path. So which one it should consider for archiving or for compressing? Let me go to the file explorer, okay, and then I'll go to YouTube scripts. This folder is empty. Okay, let me go for YouTube videos. Okay, so it has a lot of information, right? What I will do, I want to compress this one, this particular file I want to compress. Okay, let me copy the name of it. Let me go to PowerShell again. I'll provide the path here, F drive, okay, and then YouTube videos is the name of the folder. This one I want to compress. Okay, so after compressing, where I need to put that information, where I need to put the compressed file details, alright, I need to provide the path. For that what I will do, I'll create like backup.zip. okay, so I have provided the name backup.zip. okay, so total what this particular command it is doing, it is taking the folder data from this particular path. Okay, so it is going to compress the entire folder, whatever YouTube videos is there, right? It is going to compress that and put that information in the C backup zip. Okay, let me execute this one. Let's see the output. Okay, now it is compressed. Oh, okay, it is telling access denied. What I can do, I'll take another path instead of that. Okay, I'll put it in the YouTube scripts. Let me take this one. I'll change this path. Okay, let me execute now. It is compressing now. You can see, right, the process is started. You can see creation in progress. It is clearly telling over the screen. Let's wait for a few seconds. It will get complete. But hope you understood, right, how to do the compressing of the data with the help of PowerShell, right? This is the most important command for that, compress archive. Then you need to provide the path and then you need to provide the destination path. That's more than sufficient to compress the data. Okay, so it's almost done. Okay, let me go to that path and let's see the data. Yeah, you can see, right, inside YouTube scripts, so backup zip file is created, right? Earlier it was not there, now it is created. You can see the type right WinRAR zip archive. So this is how you can create the zip file in the PowerShell. Hope you understood the concept, right? So from this we can say we have learned the basic things of PowerShells from the beginning, like how to create the variables, how to store the data, what are the data types available, what is for each loop, what is for each object, how to compare the data, what are the logical operations, right, what are the arithmetic operations. So many things we have learned in this session. Hope the session is useful for you guys. If you feel the content is useful, kindly subscribe to our channel. For the more advanced concept like remoting session and all, I will cover in the next video. Thanks so much for watching till the end, and bye for now.